Hey everyone, I'm Hicks, and I am your son or daughter's consumer economics teacher. Just want to say, take a few minutes here tonight to say a quick hello and let you know about the course that I'm teaching. My name is Hicks, like I said just a few minutes ago, and you can reach me at ahicks@naperville203.org. Especially this year, communication is key. Let me know if things are going well, not so well, just fine, anything. Okay, just shoot me an email and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I also encourage you to jump into my open house Zoom if you want to. You can just pop in and say hello. I teach this class 5th hour and 6th hour. So during either of these two time periods, I think I put it in the email as well, you can jump into that Zoom link and just say hello or ask me any questions. Okay. Hey, let me tell you a little bit about this class. I love teaching consumer economics. As a lot of you guys know, it is a graduation requirement at Naperville Central. Okay. If your student doesn't take this course, they'll need to take either another Econ course or the AP Micro Macro course. The goal of this class is to prepare your students for life after Naperville Central. Okay. And I know that's your goal too, as a parent or guardian. And I'm not trying to step on your toes by any means. I'm just trying to help. All right. But the big thing that I want to get across to your students is that there's some important decisions they're going to have to make in the next number of years, whether it be as a consumer, as an employee, or as just a citizen. And I want to make sure that they, are well educated in that area. If you look at my screen real quick, you'll see I've got a snapshot from one of my favorite Saturday Night Live skits. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you Google it. It's called "Don't Buy Stuff You Can't Afford," and it's basically this class. Okay, I spend the entire semester talking to your sons and daughters about only buy stuff that you can actually afford now or definitely pay for later. Okay. Don't just rack up tons of debt and get into an unfortunate spiral. But anyway, so this skit it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The way that I go about that is I start by talking a little to your students about their values and their beliefs. Okay. Not everyone's going to want to spend their money the same way. All right. Some students might be really into cars. Great. Okay. If you want to spend a lot of money on a car, that's fantastic. Just understand that you're going to have to spend a little less money elsewhere. Okay. So we talk a lot about that. And they'll get to know my philosophy on life pretty well. So that's kind of fun. Along with your philosophy as parents, I'm sure they're going to be in good hands. Okay. My final goal is making smart choices for the future. Okay. Don't just think about the now. When I get into the housing unit, they're going to be like, I'm not worried about buying a house right now. When I get into the investing unit, they're going to hear the word retirement and they're going to say, I'm not worried about retirement. I'm worried about this semester. I'm worried about where I want to go to college. I'm worried about what kind of career I want to have possibly someday. But the thing that they need to understand is they will be walking into a career very soon. Okay. And when they walk into that career, there's some choices that they're going to have to make right away. How are they going to invest their money? Where is their retirement going to go? Things of that sort. Okay. So some cool goals. Hopefully, all your students enjoy the ride here as we roll through this class. One question I get a lot at open house is how are they going to be graded? How are their students going to be graded? We've got basically 4 standards that we work off of in consumer. There's about 4 or 5 of us that teach this course at Naperville Central. And the first standard that we look at is evaluating their resources to make informed consumer decisions. So some of the talking points that you might have with them at home is you can ask them a little bit about some of their projects that they're working on in this class. We do a lot of the work in class together. And so don't be too nervous if they say they don't have a lot of homework. A lot of times they may have done it during class. We'll see how that goes. But as far as this first standard goes, we do some research into cars, used cars, new cars, all sorts of vehicles, transportation research. We do, at the beginning of the semester, we do a short budget where I give them pretty modest income and I make them pay some bills. Okay. Right now, we're starting with our banking unit first, and we talk a little bit about checks, debit cards, credit cards, all sorts of stuff. Okay. Credit card fraud, all sorts of interesting things they have to be aware of. And then finally, investing. We've got some projects that we do where they have to choose different investments, whether it be a 401k, pension plans, maybe we're looking into some bonds or some stocks, some mutual funds, whatever the case might be. Okay. Another standard number 2 that we go through takes a look at the roles and rights and responsibility of a consumer. We'll get to more of these in the next few weeks. Econ is actually our last chapter our last unit that we're going to do this year. We'll see how the economy is doing by as we head into the holidays here. We'll see what's going on. We're going to do a little work with credit and knowing your credit score. As far as taxes go, I kind of tease them, but I'm also very serious when I say, that's too bad you've got an accounting teacher as your consumer teacher, because I happen to be an accounting teacher, and I like to spend a few extra days on taxes because it's just interesting. But we mainly focus on payroll taxes and things of that sort. So nothing too crazy. Health and life insurance, I feel, is a very, very important topic for your kids. I know that a lot of times they can stay on your insurance until they're 26. But we talk about a lot of different plans and the cost of health insurance. And then as far as transportation and housing goes, there basically figure out what your responsibility is. What's the responsibility of renting an apartment? What's your responsibility of purchasing a home? Things of that sort. The last 2 standards then have to deal with financial literacy. Your students are going to have to read some articles, write maybe a few short reports. The first one that we're going to be doing is going to be on their potential careers that they're interested in. And I'm not holding them to anything, okay? I want them to start thinking and dreaming what they might want to do someday. There's no wrong answer to this, okay? And also as far as speaking and writing, they're going to have to work through some tax forms. I should update this. We're not doing 1040As and easies anymore because we don't have those. We just have 1040 forms. But there's some cool stuff that we're going to be doing in standard 3. And then my favorite standard is 4 here, where we, at the end of the semester, pull everything together. And I give them a decent job with a decent salary. And I require them to go and spend their money and budget in a proper way. And make sure that they document everything that they're buying. Okay. So if they buy a car, they've got to figure out a payment plan and show that to me. Okay. If they rent an apartment, they have to rent an apartment. I require housing. They've got to show me where that apartment is, what the floor plan is, how they're going to make it work. Okay. And we get all the way down to how much are you going to spend on clothes each month? Remember, you're a first month employee. You're going to have to buy more stuff. So we try to make it as relevant and true to life as possible. It's a lot of fun. This class brings up a lot of stories, a lot of opportunities for participation. So I hope your son or daughter jumps into that. Of all the classes I teach, this one is probably the most heartbreaking to not be in the classroom together to try to get that spontaneous conversation going. But I sure am going to still try through Zoom. So we'll see how that goes. I also tease the students that they're going to know a lot about me by the time this semester is over. because I do tell a lot of stories. Okay. And I have stories about auto insurance from my stepsons and some possible mishaps that they may have had with our vehicles. I have stories about housing from that amazingly horrible apartment that I rented when I was in college with such a fun group of friends. So there's all sorts of things that come up. So like I said, I truly enjoy teaching this class. Last thing before I end this video, obviously, if you're getting bored, you can just stop it, are just kind of some tips for success. Okay. Those of you that are my age or even older, you'll remember this sitcom. And this is the classroom I dream of going back to someday, where we're all sitting there together, hanging out, passing notes, maybe. I don't know. We'll get back to there. But the reality is that we are virtual right now. And I don't know for how long we're going to be virtual. My big thing is that I like to stay positive. Okay. So tip for success to my student is stay with it. Okay. The nice thing is we have class in the afternoon, should be awake, should be ready to go. My favorite quote right now is, the only thing more contagious than a virus is hope. So let's stay hopeful. Let's stay positive. Let's keep learning. Every day when your students get on the Zoom, I want them to remember that they're coming to class. This is class, okay? Make sure that you're in a comfortable place, not too comfortable. For your workplace, I'd really love it if you guys had, if your students had lights on so I could see them, so we can engage as much as possible. I want their Chromebooks ready to go. If they have a second device, that might be helpful. If they want to Zoom on one device, take notes on the other device, totally up to you. They can definitely make things work with one device and with just their Chromebook. That's fantastic. And then the other thing that I just kind of recommend to all my students, no matter what class, is to have a wireless mouse of some sort. It just makes it a little easier to navigate around, and you might be great with your trackpad. But when we're using Google Sheets or some spreadsheets, sometimes you get a little lost. Okay. So those just some tips from me. And let me know if there's anything else you might think would be helpful for me to add to parents in the future. All right. Hey, that's enough for me. Again, come on into my Zoom on Thursday night if you want to chat a little bit more. Other than that, it's fantastic that I get to teach your students. I love my job, and really, as a person that was born and raised in Naperville, it's truly fun to teach at Naperville Central. And as always, it's a great day to be a Red Hawk. Stay healthy. Later.